Welcome back to Exploring Temecula. Hopefully everybody had a good New Year, good Christmas. We're going to start this new year off with a video that I found to be very popular, not only with my subscribers, but with people in general. I got a lot of good feedback in 2021, and that is my monthly market updates. So we are going to start off by showing you what happened in December in Menifee, Murrieta, and Temecula. Compare this December to previous Decembers, moving forward, what could happen or what I think might happen. And again, just keep both buyers and sellers that are local to this area up to date with what's going on with the local housing market. All this data is coming straight from the local MLS board. I'm not, fabricating numbers. This is actually real sales, real average median sales, days on market, and you're going to get a first-hand look at all of this. If you're interested in Temecula, the surrounding area, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. We really appreciate all the support that we get. And if you are in need of a home value, make sure you reach out to us. There will be a link in the description. We are not only licensed as a brokerage, but also a real estate appraisal company. So I'll be quiet and let's get into the video. Let's jump right into the video. For those of you that are watching these for the first time, you can see on top here I use Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Temecula is in blue, Murrieta is in red, Menifee is in green. I do not stipulate in regards to single family condos or townhomes. I just want an overall view for you to understand what's going on in the local housing market. So all of these, I have not picked anything specifically. First thing we're going to talk about is new listings on the market for the month of December. As you can see, every December literally falls off a cliff. For the last 5 years, it is unbelievable how many homes are not listed in December, and definitely the slowest market in regards to home sales in the whole year. In the month of December for Temecula, there are 103 newly listed properties. In Murrieta, 118, and in Menifee, 141, which is actually lower than 2020, on par with 2019. Okay guys, so next up, active listings. Before we get started any further, I just wanted to make something really clear. I'm just going over these charts and giving you my opinion. Doesn't make it right. You can take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Just some of this stuff to me, just being in the field for so long, is maybe a little bit of common sense, but there are external factors that could make my opinion wrong. So just wanted to put that out there. Now, in regards to active listings, you can see that in the past 3 to 5 months, I have been talking about how the active listings have been rising, not substantially, but they have been rising. And one of the reasons, in my opinion, why this is happening is that sellers are reaching for numbers that are not attainable. They're seeing their neighbor with a pool and a view sell for $850,000, and they have a home without a pool, without a view, that's not upgraded, and they think that the market's still crazy like it was 6, 7, 8 months ago, and they can get $840,000 for their home. And that's just not happening. I'm seeing more and more homes sit on the market that are not priced correctly. So if you don't have the beautiful pool home with a view and highly upgraded, you're unlikely to see the craziness that those homes are still seeing in way of prices or going over list price. So that's just one thing that I wanted to put out there. And one of the things that I feel why this dropped so substantially in the month of December is that there is less supply on the market, as you saw when I showed you new listings, with the same demand. There have been buyers in this market that have been waiting 6 months to get in a home. I had a buyer that took 8 months to get into a home, and we were putting in offers anywhere from $40,000 to $70,000 over list price. So you have a lot of frustrated buyers, and the market cools down a little bit in December. You don't have the number of listings that you would in the springtime. And these homes are just getting scooped up, and maybe some of these buyers are settling for a home, and you're seeing some of these homes sell in December because they're just wanting to get in a home and they're done. And this is one of the reasons I feel that in December and even November, you're seeing the active listings go down. Once spring hits, I see this going up. I see it going in an upward direction again. You're going to start seeing a slow increase, especially if the prices keep going, especially if the sellers still are trying to reach for numbers. You're going to see this chart start to go in an upward direction, and you're going to start to see more active listings on the market, more and more often. So next up, which I love this chart because it really tells a huge story, and it's average days on market. And if you look going back over the last 5 years, just crazy, like 31, 27, 35. For a full year, you're having 45 days on the market. And then we had a slight, downturn in a huge downturn in days on market. 11, 15, and 13 was the lowest really that we've hit in the last 5 years. When we get to 2020 in September, we're starting off with 6, 5, and 6 days average on the market. And this goes all the way through till September of 2021. So we had a solid year that the average day on market for a home was probably 5 to 6 days. Now what's even crazier is agents usually list the property on a Thursday. They do not accept offers, or they do not have an accepted offer until Monday or Tuesday, because that's when they show the seller. They want to make sure that every buyer has the opportunity to see the home on their scheduled time. But I can tell you that this average day on market or days on market could be 1 or 2, because every single agent in this market receives offers. If they list it on a Thursday, they have offers Thursday night. They have offers Friday night. They have offers all the way through the weekend. So, even though this is saying 5 or 6 days on the market, it is less than that in regards to agents receiving offers on their seller's home. We did see, and I was pointing out, and this went through, tying into my last, topic, or my last conversation on active listings. We were seeing the active days on market, or average days on market, go up a little bit. And again, it all comes back to unrealistic sellers bringing this average days on market up, reaching for numbers that just don't make sense for buyers. So at the end of last year, we were seeing homes sit on the market for 10, 20, 30, 40 days and not selling. Even in December, the average day on market, 8, 10, and 11. Temecula, 8 days. Murrieta, 10 days. And Menifee, 11 days. So even though that the active listings went down a great deal in December, we are still seeing the average days on market stay at that 8, 10, and 11. So what my guess on this is, if I actually went through the MLS, you would see a lot of homes there are few homes that have been on the market a long time that are driving this average up to 8, 10, and 11, or 12, 10, and 10. So that's sort of what I would guess is happening. So next up is percentage of original list price. And this one's interesting to me because it's showing if a seller lists their home, what are they actually getting for that home on the original list price. And you can see over the last 5 years that pretty much the sellers, except for, the lowest point was in 2018 in December, are almost getting 100% of what they actually listed their home for. Now, when we go up to the highest point in May of 2021, Temecula was getting 105% of original list price, Murrieta 104.8, and Menifee 103.9. Now, the way you can look at this is that if you are getting 5% over what you actually listed your property at, so let's just say you listed your property at $500,000 and you're getting 5% over that, $25,000 over what you listed it for. My point being is, even though you're seeing a drop and you're saying, oh, well, it only dropped 5% from the highs of May 2021, that's a lot of money. Take an $800,000 home, times that by 4%, and you're going to realize how much less a seller is actually getting. It's thousands and thousands of dollars than they did in May of 2021. So in December of 2021, you're still getting 100%, meaning if you list your property, generally speaking, of course there are exceptions, but if you list your property at $500,000, you can expect to get $500,000 for your property. Okay, so next up, and it's actually a new tab that they just came out with, and shows per listing. So that's the actual showings a seller would have on average. And I just wanted to show in February 2021, there were 17, 19, and 13 showings. And that's pretty crazy, especially when the days on the market are 5, 6, 7, 8 days. So you can imagine the zoo some of these sellers had, for those 3 days. Basically, it's almost to the point where they just had to leave their house for the weekend. Now, one of the reasons I bring this up and why, I feel this is important to talk about, a few things. Number one, this was the time when every buyer or a lot of buyers could afford homes. They were still affordable for probably, just say the average person. And you can see as the home prices start to rise, the showings go down and down and down and down until the point of having basically in Temecula 7 showings, Murrieta 6 showings, and Menifee 5 showings when it was 17, 19, and 13. And again, that, in my opinion, is because a lot of the buyers are just out of the market now. One thing that I have to say is that number of showings to home sales don't necessarily correlate, because we're still seeing homes stay on the market only 6, 7, and 8 days with 1/3 the amount of showings. We're still seeing home prices rise with 1/3 the amount of showings. So I don't know how important this is, but it is interesting to see how many showings, we were having just 1 year ago as compared to, 1 year later. So that is the showings per listing tab. Finally, one of the most important ones and what everybody wants to see is the percentage, where is it here? Sales price. So really, when we talk about the historic rise of home prices, it really started in March of 2020, but it's pretty crazy to think that in March of 2020, you could have bought a home in Temecula for $490,000, Murrieta $450,000, and Menifee $388,000 on average. Now in December of 2021, we have an average price of $681,000, $632,000 in Murrieta, and $539,000 in Menifee. Just a massive, massive growth in the past year. Now, one of the reasons I added Murrieta and Menifee to my monthly market updates is because I really just, you have months, because these towns are relatively small, when it comes to actual home sales, you'd get the odd month that your home prices would go down, and it really didn't paint a picture that I was confident in. I didn't think that, the market, this is a great example. In July of 2021, we saw the home price on average in Murrieta go down from $607 to $580. but we saw the home prices in Temecula go up and Menifee for one of those months go up. So that was telling me that it was just, you know, a one-off or two off bad months for Murrieta. And as you can see, you know, I was right in my thinking, because as soon as September hit, you saw, you know, the home prices in Murrieta go from $580,000 on average all the way up to $632,000 on average. Pretty crazy jump. And what might be happening, in my opinion, is that maybe people are starting to get priced out of Temecula, and they're realizing that the school systems in Murrieta are very similar. The quality of life in Murrieta is very similar, and you can buy a home for 20% less in Murrieta. So that might have been the reason for this, you know, $580,000 on average jump to $632,000 basically within 3 months, which is absolutely, in my opinion, insane. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully, you know, these videos give you an idea of the market, what's going on, and until next time from Exploring Temecula.